Hey everybody, it's Chris Henderson here. It's been a while since I've done one of these videos, and Fanside has done some updates since I did last, so thought I would take you through how to set up an article quickly, especially for those of you that are new. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to set up an article. And actually what I'm going to do here is use some text from something I've already written, but you'll see what I mean here. So anyway, I clicked Add New there. First thing I'm going to do is my title. So this article that I'm going to do as an example is Blue Jays get, I can't type at all, break from the rest of the AL East. I actually legitimately have to get my keyboard replaced this coming week, but it's especially bad right now. Anyway, so I'm going to copy that because we're going to put it in a couple other places. First place, I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to click on this Edit Snippet button, which is going to open this up. Here you'll see your SEO title. That's what shows up on Google when you're searching for stuff. And unfortunately, my title I've just come up with is a little bit short. You'll see with the orange here. So I need to make it a little bit longer. And often what I do is I'll just put Toronto ahead of it. And there we go. Now it's green and SEO is happy. Fansided always wants us to start with Blue Jays if we can for SEO purposes. But every now and then it's a little awkward. So I ask you to try. And if you can't, then you can't. But so sticking with the title theme, I'm going to scroll down here because we have to fill in these three. You'll see the character limit stuff here, but I'm going to see if that'll fit. I'll see there. I got a double from the AL East. Okay, so that fit there. I've got 10 characters left, so I'm going to copy that and pop it in there, and that fit. And then I have to come up with a shorter one here, so a break from the AL East. So now I've got all my titles taken care of. And I realize that there's some of this stuff is going to look a little bit different on your end with the contributor privileges and editor privileges like I've got. But so that's your title stuff. The next thing I'd recommend doing is go up and your focus keyword. Every single time on this website, your focus keyword is going to be Blue Jays. It's just the best way for SEO to find stuff for people that are looking for Blue Jays related content. If you put something else, Fanside is going to make Tyson and I change it. So please just do that. Next, I would say go to keywords. Go to keywords. Every single time you're also going to put Toronto Blue Jays here. You don't have to put Toronto Blue Jays and then Blue Jays and then Blue Jays bullpen or everything else. If you type in Blue Jays, Toronto Blue Jays once, you've covered it. Okay, so in this case, I'm talking about the rest of the AL East. Normally I might include some players. The other thing to keep in mind with keywords is that you can only use 5 players. Ideally, they want you to keep it to 5 keywords in general. So if I'm talking about a list of 10 players, I'm going to pick the maybe 4 or 5 that are the most prominent and use them here. So in this case, I'm not going to include any. But next thing I would do is go to select my category. Most of the time it's going to be news, but every now and then it's going to be something else. The one thing to keep in mind here too is you only want to pick one of these. I know you can select multiple ones, but Fansided doesn't want you to. Last but not least, in setting this up, I'm going to go to my meta description. And think of that as what it is like, when you search for something on Google and you kind of see the short description of what the article is about, that's what this is. So you're making up a bit of a snippet kind of thing. Again, you'll see the green light kind of thing. So in this case, I'm going to say, while the Blue Jays haven't had the greatest of starts, fortunately for them, the rest of the AL East has struggled to begin the year as well. The one thing you want to include here as well, if I haven't said it already, is make sure you always include the word Blue Jays in your meta description. And make sure you think of it as a sentence, so always close it off with a period. Okay? What I almost always do is copy this and use it as my opening paragraph or some version of it. It's just usually a helpful way to start the article. You don't have to do that, but that way, it's just one thing that I do all the time. So now I've taken care of all that kind of stuff. I guess, yeah, okay. And then the second last thing I would do before having to write my article to set it up is I'm going to go into my images. And so I'm talking about the rest of the AL East. I've kind of previously done this. I guess I'll do one anyway. So I'm talking about the AL East. So I'm going to maybe look for something that's Blue Jays and Yankees. You know, you can be creative and think of what you want, but that might fit, kind of thing. You'll see Imagine Images. It says use first if you can find something. It's not as good as Getty, but Fansided wants us to use Imagine if we can. I see you'll see that I'm getting a text right now from my mom. Anyway, so here I'm going to look for a photo that has both Blue Jays and Yankees in it. You know, here's one. So I'm going to download that. Now I've got the photo in our library, and for featured image is what I want to click on. I'm going to click on the picture, and the last step is to go into alt text and once again type Blue Jays. Set featured image, and now just about everything is ready to go. Okay, normally what I would do is start typing my whole article, and that's the thing that's going to take the most time once you get used to setting up an article. In this case, I've already written this article, or kind of sketched one out for the purposes of this, and I've put it into this window. Oh, come on. 1 second here. I really miss my mouse that I can't find. Anyway, copy that. I'm going to drop it into here. Okay, and now I've got my article written. Okay, so the last few things that I'm going to mention for the purposes of this article are how to put in your short codes. And so what I almost always do, and it depends on the length of the article, is after the fourth paragraph is where I'll put in, you'll see this build short code. And I'll scroll down and I'll find recent posts. Okay, and that's what brings that in there. Okay, the reason that I put it after the fourth one is for formatting, and Fansided has advertisements, as you know, on their articles. And so if you put it in before the first, if you put anything before the first three paragraphs, then it'll cancel out the ad, and Fansided won't be happy because that's how they get paid, and you get paid, and I get paid, and all that kind of thing. So put it after the fourth one as long as it works. Sometimes you're going to have tweets or something you're going to embed that will make you put it somewhere else. But that's where I almost always put mine for the sake of convenience. And then the last thing I'm going to do is put in my next article short code. So again, I'm going to click on build short code. I'm going to scroll down to story link next. And it's going to ask you for your URL in your description. So then I'm going to go to Jay's Journal, and I'm going to just pick one. Jordan's got one here. Blue Jays should try out different batting order or different batting lineups. Okay, so I've copied and pasted the URL, and then the description. Blue Jays should try out different batting lineups. That's not quite what his article title was, but this is just for the sake of an example. And now I'm done. There's obviously other things I could mention, and I'll make other videos that will say a few things. The one thing I wanted to mention for a few people that are new here, we used to have a header paragraph that was usually heading 2, so articles would look like that. Fansided asked us to stop doing that for SEO purposes, I guess. And so now it just starts off with regular text at the top. The other thing that they did recommend is if you're talking about a player, if you can try and add a header to somewhere in there. So let's pretend that I'm talking about Marcus Semien. So Marcus Semien, Semien's impact. If you can find a way to do this with a header too, they love that. But don't worry about it. Don't force it in there. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But hey, that's pretty much how you set up and do an article. This hasn't generated yet because my Wi-Fi is being goofy today. But yeah, as always, if you have questions, shoot me an email, and hopefully this has helped. And as importantly as anything else, make sure you hit save. Take care for now. Thank you so much, and until next time.